Could you talk about your Epiphone White Fang ES125 guitar? What made you want to have your own signature model?
It really wasn't my idea. It came to us pretty much that necessity. I had people, and including the Epiphone company and people in our organization who have been urging me to, get new instruments because the ones I was using were completely worn out.
Mm-hmm.
It was costing us a fortune to keep repairing them, and maintenance on those instruments. Plus, they don't make them anymore,
Mm-hmm.
and they were very frail guitars. And I have as you saw me play a week or so ago, I have a pretty heavy attack on the guitar.
Oh yeah.
And those guitars were, kind of, it's not like banging on a Les Paul or a Stratocaster or something.
Mm-hmm.
So those guitars had a tendency to wear out. And so if you want to continue playing, we have to get you some new instruments. I said, well, that's fine, but I can't play anything but the 125.
Uh-huh.
And they said, well, how about if we create one for you? And they did a couple of them, but they didn't work out real good. They didn't quite make it. So what they did said, here's what we'll do. We'll get you Epiphones, off the line, stock Epiphones, but then we will alter them to your style. I said, oh, that makes more sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like getting a pair of pants at work, but the cuffs are too long, so you make alterations.
Uh-huh.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So once we did that, and then I had people in our organization talk to me and say, when you play your 125, if you're a baseball player, when you swing the bat, the ball bounces into the stands for a ground rule double. When you play the Epiphone, you hit the ball into the upper deck for a grand slam home run. And I'm like, holy smokes. So then I went back to the 125 just for one night, just to see, and they were right. I can even tell the response from the audience wasn't, it was good, but not as it had been 2-3 nights in a row before that. So now I'm on the 125s at all times. I mean, not the Epiphone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I hear some... Oh, were you going to say something else?
We have nicknames for White Fang and Black Tooth.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I hear so much Hound Dog Taylor, John Lee Hooker, and Chuck Berry in your music. If you had to pick one of those artists who shines through the most, who would it be and why?
Probably John Lee Hooker. Hound Dog came a little later after John Lee Hooker was the main reason I picked up the guitar, and I could get behind what he did. What he did was very simple, very basic, but very driving, great rhythm,
Mm-hmm.
which I found was through John Lee Hooker, that was my strength, and he could do so much with one chord. And I said, well, I'm not a sophisticated player on the level of B.B. King or Elvin Bishop, or certainly not anybody like Jeff Beck or Clapton or any of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But this was what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something I could, and I practiced Hooker over and over and over, and not only that, I just really dug it. I mean, I really just knocked out by this cat.
Mm-hmm.
And then again later, I saw Hound Dog Taylor, and that's when I got an electric guitar. That's when I said, it's time to move on. It's time to get an electric guitar, a bass player, and a drummer.
Uh-huh.
I saw what Hound Dog, again, his style was very driving, very high energy, very happy, but at the same time it was very not simple and primitive at the same time, which I had it. I said, that's just part of me anyway. People say, oh, George is trying to sound this way, and people who know me said, no, that's just the way George is.
Uh-huh.
That's the way he plays.
Uh-huh.
That's why him and Hooker and Hound Dog hooked up so close. I mean,
Yeah.
I became friends with John Lee Hooker, and was close with Hound Dog for a little while.
Wow.
And that without even saying anything, especially Hound, knew exactly what I was getting on top of,
Mm-hmm.
without directly copying them.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought this is a style that's natural for George. It just felt natural to play John Lee Hooker and Hound Dog together. I didn't have to work at it.
Yeah.
It just fell into place so fast. I said, well, don't fight it. This is what you do. This is what you can do.
Yeah.
It's a funny thing, and you're gonna like this story. You like funny stories?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was standing backstage, and I was backstage with Bo Diddley and John Lee Hooker,
Uh-huh.
right? And of all people, Bo Diddley says to John Lee Hooker, he says, see that guy? And I said, yeah. And he goes, that's the reason I played guitar. He was the guy. And I thought, wow. So Bo Diddley he said, that's the guy that made me want to play the guitar. So
Wow.
just to add to it, I said, that's funny, Bo, because you're the guy I wanted to play guitar like. So
Wow.
when I hooked up with John Lee Hooker and Bo Diddley, I said, man, I'm home. Don't go any farther than this, George. Don't think beyond this.
Yeah.
Because this is what you're about.
Mm-hmm.
Pick it up, plug it in, turn it on, and see how far this thing can take you. And lo and behold, it got me to Ravinia in Chicago, playing with superstar Melissa.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. I'll take it. You know.
Pretty good. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. For a guy who only knows one chord, that's not bad.
What do you look for when choosing cover material? What tests do songs go through?
Well, let me get you straight on one thing, because we just met.
Yeah.
We cover material, but we don't call it cover. We call it obscure material.
Okay.
Material that no one is really aware of, that hasn't been exposed.
Gotcha.
That's first. We try to find out how many other people know it or have done it. Number one, can we play it?
Mm-hmm.
That comes in handy,
mm-hmm.
being able to play the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And number two is, does it sound good?
Mm-hmm.
One of the main things is this something our fans are going to like? Not really so much as going to sell our record. Will the people who enjoy what we do like this? We're kind of like a restaurant, putting something new on, because we want to keep the customers, right?
Uh-huh.
So just ask me what goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more involved than just picking up the guitar and learning the song and going into it. There's a lot of background. I'll pick up a song and say, this song is really good. And they said, oh yeah, it's a really good song. Grateful Dead did it on their live album. I go, well, then forget that. That's out.
Interesting. Okay.
Nothing against the Dead. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, if it's been internationally exposed already, then there's no need to do it.
Gotcha.
I take a lot of pride in the fact that there's material that we have dug up over the years, and before we recorded them, was 90% of the people had never heard the song.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was our mission. We had a handful of obscure tunes that we wanted to turn people on to, and then take it from there. And, some of them are still in the set today. Bourbon, Scotch, and Beer is still in the set. I was doing that song before I even put a band together.
Yeah.
So how do you like that? I was playing that as a solo, so that's lasted the test of time.
Yeah. You initially wrote Bad to the Bone for Muddy Waters. How long did the song take to write? Was it just the guitar riff and instantaneous with just...
The guitar riff was one that just kind of we had been doing for a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of a backdoor version of I'm a Man or Hoochie Coochie Man. It's kind of in that thing, but it's not exactly like it. Now, it did take me a while to put the lyrics together, because I'd listened to Bo Diddley's lyrics a lot. Mick Jagger's lyrics, and some John Lee Hooker lyrics, and Howlin' Wolf. And I was fascinated with Bo Diddley and some of the things he did. I said, now if you can get a Muddy Waters type riff going with Bo Diddley type lyrics, that tongue-in-cheek macho thing that Bo does, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can put those two things together, you might have something there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing was, Muddy Waters didn't want to do it. He wasn't interested.
Did he actually hear it, or he just...
I don't know. I took it to his people, his management, and they actually were very almost offended by the idea that...
Really?
Yes, that some white guy he'll never record a song written by a white guy from Muddy Waters. And I said, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I said, if Keith Richards or Eric Clapton wrote this song, Muddy would record it in a second.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm a nobody from Delaware, and they were like, even though they knew what was it, they were like, so I took it to Bo Diddley, and he liked the song. He dug it, but he did not have a record deal at the time. So we put him in the video. Next best thing.
Yeah, there you go. Is there any artist you would like to record with that you have yet to?
If Paul McCartney wants me to play tambourine on his next record, I'll fly to the moon and do it. So that's... otherwise, I have recorded with John Lee Hooker and, did things with Bo Diddley and people like that. And, and a lot of people that might be interested aren't even alive anymore. So that's, done recordings with Melvin Bishop and Ian Stewart, very interesting people. And I don't think there's ever going to be a shot at me ever getting a chance to squeeze in a studio with Jeff Beck. Jeff Beck's the one guy who absolutely doesn't need any guitars ever.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm half kidding and I'm half not kidding. I'm saying, well,
Yeah.
you know, at the time of my life, these are the greatest names in rock music, the greatest names in music, period.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, hey, but I'm not. Hey, if the phone rings and Steve Cropper's calling me, I'm returning the call. Okay.
Yeah. And this leads into the last one. You kind of maybe answered it. What else do you want to accomplish?
Oh, you know, what else do I want to accomplish? My goals are very simple and very meager. You know, of what I want to accomplish if I haven't accomplished already.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just, you know, I don't like to be greedy. All I want to do is, you know, be able to play the guitar like Jimi Hendrix and write songs like Bob Dylan and perform like Elvis Presley.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there you go. Those are things I would like to do in my lifetime. How's that? I'm a little ways from doing that yet, but I'm still pushing for